and welcome to Your Financial Sanctuary. It's your girl, Shari, and I'm here back with another video for you guys. So, as you can see, in a bit of a different location. Let me know if you guys like this spot. Child, it's literally like a little corner, a little snook corner in my apartment. But I thought like a little change of scenery would be nice. So what's up guys? As you all know, this is Your Financial Sanctuary, the safest place on the internet to discuss finances, budgeting, insurance, and life in general, you know, when it comes to managing our finances during these tough times, okay? So, today's video is going to be all about creating a financial plan. I do have a bit of notes here, so if I do look to the side, I will be looking at those notes. So if you just see me looking over there, that's what that is. As always, please make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell an uncle to tell a cousin to tell their aunt about Your Financial Sanctuary as well, so that we can grow the channel and also grow the community as well. I'm definitely looking forward to more traction on the channel as the year progresses, so I'm super excited about that. So let's go ahead and get into the video. So when it comes to creating your financial plan, I feel like definitely take it slow, but be intentional. So be intentional with the flow of how you want things to go. And I really say that because people are being very, I guess, cautious about where they put their money, how they move their money, you know, adding extra bills, you know, to the bills that they already have. So people are being very cautious about it. So in that cautiousness, I just say, you know, create a financial plan that, number one, works for you. So it works for your monthly budget. It's manageable, it's tangible, you know, but also something that is going to really get you to your goals. So that is going to take definitely some sacrifices and possibly missing out on some things that you weren't necessarily missing out on before. And we'll kind of get into that and discuss that a little further. So my first tip, as far as a way, and like these are things that are my opinion, things that I've, you know, personally feel like make sense, things that I've read. So like I say, if you have any other suggestions, you can definitely feel free to leave them in the comments below. I do want to grow the channel with, you know, of course with support, but also with other financial professionals who are definitely more knowledgeable than myself, who may have more information in the industry. So if you do feel like that is, you know, that's your expertise, then definitely feel free to leave some tips and gems in the comment section, because that is what this community space is about. So my first tip would be, when you're creating your financial plan, is protecting your largest asset. What's your largest asset, you may ask? Some may think it's their home, you know, some may think it's, you know, a boat, I don't know, but your largest asset is yourself. You are your largest asset, and at the end of the day, if you're not protected, if, you know, if businesses that you're building, you know, things that your legacy that you're trying to build, if those situations are not, if you're not protected, then all of those situations can definitely decide to crumble. For example, let's just say you're a business owner. You're a business owner. Your business now, you know, let's just say it's worth $500,000. So your business is now worth $500,000, but you personally are not protected yourself with any type of life insurance. And that's with, you know, a term plan, a whole life plan, a universal life plan. You have absolutely nothing, but you have been able to obtain a large amount of wealth. Let's just say you pass away, you know, out of an accident, you know what I mean? Randomly, you end up passing away. Now your business, your business is worth $500,000, but does your family have the resources to actually be able to cover that? Does your family have the resources to, still continue to pay your employees? Do they have the resources to still take care of the mortgage, to take care of all of the other list of things that were expenses? And let's just say you're a married business owner, so all of the expenses that you and your spouse had, now it's on one person. How does that one person cover all of that extra? So that is where I would say the biggest thing in creating your financial plan is getting yourself a life insurance policy. You don't have to get anything super large starting out, because the hope is, that over time, as you gain more wealth, you do need more life insurance the younger that you are, and they kind of say you need less the older that you are, because the assumption is you would have invested your money very well, so then you can pretty much, if you pass away, your family has, investments, they have, other things, they have your 401k, retirement planning, they have other revenue, I guess, they have other money outside of just your life insurance policy to, be able to bury you and take care of you. That's the assumption. But like I said, you don't have to start off with a super big life insurance policy. You can always buy yourself more life insurance if you have a whole life plan. And that way, you're able to start off with a $100,000 policy. You're only paying, and these are I'm not going to give numbers. Let me not give numbers. I'll just say you start off with a policy. You pay very little the younger that you are. So the younger you are, the least amount you pay, the less you pay when you have your life insurance policies. It makes sense to get them younger. Even if you want to get a term policy, if you're a little bit older, let's just say you didn't get a life insurance policy early on, but you just want to get something to protect yourself, to protect your business, to protect your mortgage. So you get a lesser amount term policy. You pay less for it. As you build your wealth, then you'll be able to upgrade or get yourself a whole life policy after that. If that's something that makes sense to you, or if that's something that you want to do. But the biggest thing is protecting yourself. And protection is very cheap. I think people have the misconception that it costs a whole lot to protect your life, and it does not. And then even having the protection through your job can not always be a great thing unless you decide to be with that company until you retire. It's wise to get outside life insurance, because most people are not able to take those policies at their job with them if they decide to leave. So my number one tip, definitely get yourself protected. It doesn't even, I don't care if you're not a business owner. If you're just a regular, person going to work every single day, still protect yourself, because you still have assets. You still have a mortgage. You still have a car. You have things that when you leave this earth, they're going to need to be taken care of. So that would be my biggest thing. Number 2, in creating your financial plan. And this is your financial plan overall. Like I say, protection to me is a big one. So the second thing that we'll go into for creating your financial plan. All right, so after you've got your protection down, the second thing that I would say that's definitely needed would be to create your own financial goal. Define what it is, pretty much define the lifestyle that you want. Figure out the lifestyle that you want to live, the amount of savings that you would like to have in your account, the vacations that you would like to take. Take in account your life overall. Do you want to buy a home? Are you looking to buy a second home? Do you want a vacation property? Are you sending your Are you sending your children to private school, public school, charter school? What are your monthly expenses? Really, really, really digging into what your financial goal is, and then breaking that down even further. So with a financial goal, I would not necessarily make it too, I would say make it too far in advanced. So I would say think of goals that you want to do within the next year or two, because life changes a lot. Life has its sporadic moments a lot. I feel like it's a lot easier to be able to control, even though a lot can happen within a year as well. It's a lot easier to control a year or a year or two rather than saying 5 years. Now, I definitely think it's wise to create long-term goals overall. So yes, creating long-term and short-term goals are necessarily needed, but we want to more so focus on the short term, because focusing on those short-term goals and really dedicating the time and the effort into those will directly transition you to your long-term goals. I feel like it'll be such an easy transition. There won't be much because you've already put in the legwork on the short term. So going to those long-term goals will be fairly easy. Creating goals that make sense for your everyday, day-to-day. I don't think that there's anything, so I'll tell you, when I create my personal goals, I create 3 goals that I feel like are definitely attainable. Even if they do seem far within my reach, I know that they're obtainable with the resources that I have, with the dedication that I put into things. I know that the goals are obtainable. And then I put one wild, delirious, completely delusional goal on the list, because at the end of the day, we do need to be a tad bit delusional, people. We do. We have to be a tad bit delusional, still realistic. So be very realistic in your main short-term goals, but definitely put something wild out there as a wild card, because why not? You know what I mean? There's no rule that says that the universe won't grant you something. So I just say put everything on the table. You know what I mean? Be as wild and be as, intentional though. Be very intentional. Make sure that even if it's a delirious goal, make it a goal that's still intentional to the overall, to what you're overall going for. So I will say that. So some personal, so put down personal goals. Put down goals that you want for your job. You know what I mean? Do you want that raise? Do you want a promotion? Are you looking for a different line of work? Are you looking to go to school to advance your career? Get very, very, very specific, because I feel like the more specific you are and the more intentional you are in it, the easier it is to obtain it and the easier it is to move forward with all of the goals that you have. That will go into my next point, which is creating a budget. Okay. Now, after you've set out your goals, you've been quite intentional, you've laid out, this is what I want. This is what I want the universe to provide for me. This is what I'm going to do to get there. After you've been super intentional about all of that, now it's time to set that budget. Now, budgets are going to look different for everybody, depending on how much your expenses are. Honestly, how much are you actually putting out and how much are you actually receiving when it comes to your income? People really have to look at that debt to income ratio. It's serious. I know most people don't really start looking at it until they're looking to buy a home. But even if you're renting, I feel like it's definitely necessary to have more income than you do have debts. Because you want to be able to create viable budgets that are going to allow you to have really nice rainy day funds and really nice savings, so that you are not one of those people who are scrounging around or, having to ask other people when times get rough, honestly. So creating a budget, depending on when you get paid, is how I would create the budget. Now, I personally come from a salary plus commission background. Most of my jobs have been salary plus commission. So most of the pay structures have been at the beginning of the month, I receive my largest check. So, you know, that first, I guess, Friday or whatever of the month, I would receive my largest check. And then the second, and then bi-weekly, I would get paid bi-weekly. So that next 2 weeks, that would be like more my regular pay. Now, with that type of structure, it works beautifully, especially if you're putting in the work when it comes to sales. So if you're putting in, you know, the work and you're dedicating yourself to it, even if you're not dedicating yourself to it, it can still be quite lucrative. But that first check in the month, I was literally paying all of my bills. So I paid every single bill that I had for that entire month with that first check. And I would also pay my rent ahead of time. So the check that I got, that first check, I'm technically paying my next month's rent. Or one time things were really good, I was paying 2 months, 2 months worth of rent ahead. But usually I was always a month ahead. So I would get, so let's just say, well, you really can't see my calendar. And next time I'll have a cute little calendar here so you guys will be able to see it. We'll actually be able to go through it. And that'll be like more like a detailed budgeting video. But so let's just say I get my first check. The first one would have been, I guess, the 12th, maybe the 12th or the 5th of this month. Let's just say it would be the 12th. So on the 12th, I would pay all of my bills. January 12th, I would pay all of my bills. My rent for February would be paid. I would, phone bill, lights, everything. Every single bill that I had would be paid. I would also be very intentional about grocery shopping on that day or on that weekend as well. So I would do a really nice grocery shop. If I needed to replenish any soaps, lotions, anything like that for my house, I would purchase it at that time. Mind you, this is the biggest check of the month. Most of those checks were maybe about $6,000 to $7,000. Well, on a good month, I'd say on an average $5,000. Let's not be overzealous. Now, there were times when I went up to that level, but let's just say on average that check is about $5,000. So I would have left over, a good enough amount to put into savings. So I would put some money into savings. I would invest a little bit into stock, and then I would still have at least, maybe like $2,000 to just kind of have, you know what I mean? But then I started a business, so then I would put an additional $1,000 into my business account. So now I'm living off of $1,000, which honestly is living great, but realistically I could live off less than that. So the old me would be like, oh, perfect, I have $1,000 to live off of. Now I can, go out to eat, and I can do this and I can do that, because on the surface level, I felt as if, I was budgeting correctly. I felt like, yeah, I'm budgeting. I budgeted. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, I went out of town, but I just budgeted. I did my budget. I paid all my bills. Like, what do you mean? I paid all the issue was I never had a defined goal. I never had a defined goal. I never had a defined financial reason. I always had life insurance. So I had step one, I was protecting myself, but I was never getting to step two. So that's why I say definitely have goals for your money. You know what I mean? What are you making money for? What's your purpose? Is your purpose to go to concerts? Is your purpose just to get your day-to-day basics, to live every day? What is your true purpose for your money? And I will say, yeah, I was having fun, and I was using my funds for things that were enjoyable and things that I wanted to do at the time, but I don't have that money anymore. That money didn't make me more money. So did I really do what I was supposed to do with it? Absolutely not. It was a waste. It's kind of like wasted time almost. So if I were to create a better budget at this point, I would have created goals. So now I want to buy a house. If I was probably thinking about that maybe 4 years ago, I would have had a really nice down payment now. You know what I mean? And this is just being honest and realistic, because I could have sacrificed going out with my friends then. I could have sacrificed going to the movies. I could have sacrificed shopping. You know what I mean? I didn't need that Skims outfit. I didn't need to buy that Dolls Kill, dress. It was not a necessity. But at the time, my thought process about money was completely flawed, and I didn't have a purpose for the money. I had no purpose for it. And I think that's probably a lot of the reason why a lot of us just do whatever we want with the money that we have, because we truly have no purpose for the funds. We don't know what our goals are. And so once we have the goal, we can create a viable and a real budget. And to me, budgeting also means living. All right, my bad, guys. I am back. My camera cut off. I needed to charge it and delete some memory, but we're back. So I started off by saying needing a viable budget and making those particular sacrifices in order to obtain your financial goals. I really just wanted to end it off with this though. Your financial budget or your financial plan is not necessarily something that will stay the same forever. So it is going to make its transitions. It is going to make its, twists and turns as you gain money. Even if you lose some money, if things happen to you, there are pivots that you are going to have to make in your financial plan. But I think the more intentional you are about it, and the more intentional and the more direct you are about the goals, the easier it'll be able to obtain them, and the easier it'll be able to handle those pivots as they may come as well. And I also want to say the financial budget is not something that you may need to keep all of the time. I mean, I don't know, as you obtain a certain amount of wealth, or obtain what your level of wealth is and what you're comfortable with and what you feel like makes sense for you and your family. I don't know, sometimes when you get to that level, you may not feel the need to budget the same way. You may try to change the way you budget, and that's perfectly fine. But really creating this initial financial plan is really getting the roadmap for you, allowing you to kind of really have direction on where you want to go financially, and sorry, my cat. Where you want to go financially, and the types of things that you want to take out of your life. Certain sacrifices that you want to make. Maybe you don't buy wine. Maybe you don't buy, the smokes. Maybe you're really just going to start tailoring your life to what makes it more beneficial to you in the long run. So I want to thank you all so much for being here and tuning in again to your financial sanctuary. I'm going to go out and get out of here because my cat is calling for me. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much, and please leave comments down below so that we can continue the conversation and even add in some new ideas, some new points. Make sure that you like this video, and make sure that you subscribe. We are looking to grow the channel, so I definitely look for you guys to subscribe as well. And as always, have a wonderful day. Shari's out. Blaze, I'm just trying to get the last part of this video done, Bookie.